It's January the 22nd, and still it appears that Christmas is more than just a passing memory. Although the Chinese New Year, referred to here as the Spring Festival, is almost upon us, Santa and his merry reindeer are still to be seen prancing around town, wishing us all a Merry Christmas from shop windows, hotels, and in doorways, although it has to be said that I've noticed fewer Christmas trees in the past week. No doubt this is because Mr. Claus is wrestling for space with the dragons and New Year greetings that are fast taking over his territory, though this morning in my street alone I counted 14 Santas and 13 dragons. As well as dragons, many establishments are hanging up red diamond-shaped Fu characters, which literally mean blessings and happiness. This sign is usually seen hanging upside down, since the Chinese word for upside down is homophonous with arrive, and so it symbolizes the arrival of luck, happiness, and prosperity. Of course, the shops have been gearing themselves up for weeks now, targeting shoppers with New Year cheer, such that it's impossible to escape this festival in any way whatsoever. At work, we were given a hongbao, or little red envelope, with 2 store credit cards inside, to the tune of 500 kwai, approximately £50, for one upmarket store, and another 100 RMB for a bakery chain. Not being one to miss a bargain, I've been tempted into the shops like everyone else, searching for must-buy items that I would normally never even consider purchasing. Most shops have been doing a very brisk trade, and even normally sedate stores, if a Chinese supermarket could ever be called sedate, work on the principle of pile 'em high and sell 'em cheap. Of course, while inside, who can resist buying some kitsch to decorate their apartments from the kitsch corners that are sprung up everywhere? Well, actually I can. Anyone wanting just to buy their normal groceries has to work twice as hard fighting against the crush of eager Chinese. Thank goodness for the signs that can still be found everywhere guiding you to your chosen products. One such sign reads, "Nourish food." Okay, I've still to work out what is meant by nourish food. Maybe it's the opposite of junk food. But it's a universally accepted term here, as can be seen in a similar sign in another supermarket. As for another sign reading expanded foods, don't even ask. It's about as clear to me as functional drink. I'm dying to know what a dysfunctional drink is all about. I'm happy to see that my favourite sign in Walmart is still there to guide me to the toilet rolls. Bumph, it reads. I mean, I never actually buy my bum fodder from there, but it still gives me a smile every time I pass it. Who would have thought an expression from the trenches of the First World War would end up guiding shoppers in Beijing a century later to their loo rolls? If you're afraid lest you might miss out on an all-important sign, then worry not, they have you covered. The lovely Chinese take it upon themselves to put up a sign telling you where to find another sign. I guess, too, that the Chinese must have been the originators of mission statements, those grand-sounding slogans that Western corporations were so keen to introduce in the 80s and 90s to their workforces, albeit that I have never met a single person who could ever tell me what the mission statement of their company actually was. But true to form, the Chinese stick them up everywhere, even on their pedestrian bridges. Even when you go to the loo, you cannot escape the signs. "Please lock the door for your convenience," it reads. Do they really mean you should lock the door of your convenience, or do they actually mean for your convenience? The jury's out on that one, I think. One of my favourite signs can be found close to the Sanli Tun area, which is so heavily frequented by Westerners. So it's not surprising that they make a special effort with their signs in this area. "Beijing of Hospital Force Police Armed People's Chinese," it reads. Thank the Lord for Google Translate. But I digress. As the New Year approaches, many shops and even more houses decorate their entrances with rhyming couplets, called Du Lian, a pair of lines of poetry which adhere to certain rules and that express happy and hopeful thoughts for the coming year. A couplet must adhere to strict rules. For instance, both lines must have the same number of Chinese characters. The tone pattern of one line must be the inverse of the other. the meaning of the two lines needs to be related, with each pair of corresponding characters having related meanings too. Oh, and there's a headline section at the top, which is meant to sum up what it's all about. As almost everything is shut during the Spring Festival, the markets have been having a very busy time offloading all their produce to the customers who buy up boxloads of meat, vegetables and fruit. While just in case there is anyone, such as me, who still hasn't bought a dragon or a foo or a durian for his door, they'd better hurry up as stocks are limited. Or not, as the case may be. Roll on the Spring Festival.